Hello everyone, welcome to the day 5 video. We are just looking on a looping. Before starting today's session, let me just have a fast recap of yesterday's session. So yesterday we have been seeing about if condition, nested if else condition, and how to assign a single line statement for if and else. So this is like a syntax for if and else if condition. So this will work same as a switch statement, which you are going to see in another programming language. So instead of else, ELSE, the short form or a keyword which have been used in Python is ELIF. So it stands for else if. So expression, and you are going to write some statements here. So if this condition is true, the user need to decide which statements need to be executed. If all the statements are going to be false, the user have been written some default statement. So that is what the default statement is going to just do with. So that is else. So if all these conditions are false, you can execute this part. So this one is for if else. So in the same manner, we are having nested if else. So nested means if one condition is true, after getting true also we are checking several conditions whether that condition is going to pass or not. Based on which condition is passed, some of statements will be executed. So that is for true statements. In the same manner for else part also, the false statements also. So if after the false statement is executed, we are going to check several conditions. So if the scenario is like this, you need to go for if else, that is nested if else condition. So here also you can have the else part. So here also the else part. See, like if any of this condition is false, so the default statement is going to be printed here. So in the same manner, if any of this condition is not true, this is going to be executed. So in the same manner, we have been seeing a single line assignment here for both if and else. So if the true statements or false statements are only one, instead of going to the next line, we are going to just type in the single line itself. So this is going to reduce the memory, it is going to reduce the speed. So speed is going to be enhanced. So these are all some of our things. And we have been just seeing the largest of the three numbers. So this was all about the yesterday's session. Is it is working? Audio is fine. Okay, today let me take a pen here. Okay, looping. So loops. So loops means, let me just tell a difference between if and a looping statements. If means it is going to check only once. It is going to check once and it is going to execute. Looping means it is going to check till the condition is going to be just false. If the condition is true, it will be inside the loop. If the condition is false, it will be coming out of the loop. And it is going to be executed in sequential manner, one after the other. So this is what the characteristic of a looping here. So it is sequential in nature. That is, first line is executed. So after executing first, you will be going for a second. So later, third. So like this, first, second, third. So if you are writing a looping, so inside a loop, you will be having several statements. In that, first statement is executed at the very initial stage, later second, third, fourth, like this. So Python allows various control structure. So control structures actually means that inside a looping you can use if else, continue, pass. So these are the things we are going to just see how it is going to allow and how it is going to make use of making a efficient programming. So when this loop is needed is like whenever you need to execute some specific lines of codes repeatedly. So that is what we are saying, some sequence of lines which are going to be repeatedly executed. So during that time we are going to make use of loops. Okay, then we are having a types of a looping in this session. The first one is while. So types of a looping, while and for loop. So while executes till the condition is true. So the condition is checked first, later execution is going to happen. So whereas in a for loop, loop execution is going to be taken care by an loop variable, that is iteration variable. So this syntax we will just see in the later part. So now we are starting with the while loop. So the condition in the while loop is like, so you will be checking the condition whether it is true or false. So if the condition is true, or if the looping is true, it is going to have to switch to the sum of a conditional statements. So what I was been talking about is like sum of statements. So again it will be coming back here. So here again it will check the condition. If it is true, it will execute these lines, come back, check, go back, check. So let me take one of example, like if a looping need to happen for 5 times. So the first time it will check if it is true, again go here. So it will decrement here 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. At a point of 0, the condition will become false and it is going to end the loop. So this is a while condition. So the next one is like difference between while loop and a for loop. So this side I am writing a difference for while, and this side I am writing a difference for loop. So whenever we are writing a while loop, the taken care, the utmost taken care is like increment and decrement value should be written. It should be manually written by the user, or else it is going to end with a infinite loop. So it is going to have some infinite loop if you are not using this increment or decrement variable by manually. So this is a very first condition and it is a very crucial condition. But whereas in for loop there is no need of it. So automatically it will increment or decrement based on the variable what you have been assigned. So variable need to be declared at a very first. So the variable you are using inside the loop need to be declared first, and here there is no need. So this is a very crucial point. Whenever you are using the while loop, you need to think of infinite loops as well. That taken care should happen. It should not be going for an infinite loop. If you are not giving an increment or decrement manually, then it will definitely enters the infinite loop. So whenever this program enters into an infinite loop, what are the conditions is like, it will consume a memory, the computation will be just wasted. If it is a real-time application, your whole program will be wasted and you need to reset the issue or reset the machine. Whenever the machine is going to be resetted in the real time means it is a very hectic task for an industry. So for some 10 minutes, everything should be stopped. If the 10 minutes have been stopped, some lakhs together amount is going to be just get wasted for an industry. So whenever a programmer is good at programming, he need to take care of an infinite loops. The program should not enter to any of our infinite loops. So this is a very utmost thinking. If you are using while loop, take care of increment of decrement variable and you need to write manually. So if you are having any bothering in writing in a while, you can switch to the for, as it is going to take care of automatic increment and decrement. So this is a very utmost care you need to just think of. So this is like the while loop statement. It is going to be executed repeatedly till the condition is true. So this is called as an while statement. So the syntax here for a while is, so while you are writing while and you are writing expressions and you need to write colon. After writing a colon, you need to give one tab and you can write the statements here. So remember this, what are all the statements you are writing here, that will be in a loop. It will be executing in loop till the expression is true. So if you are writing these statements without giving a tab, means it is not connected to this while loop. So it will not execute inside the while loop. The statements are true. It is going to, expression is true. It is going to execute the statements sequentially, one after the other. So this is called as an while thing. So this expressions can be in a Boolean format, like a is greater than 9 or less than 9, and these are all the statements. So these statements can be single or multiple. So these expressions can be in Boolean formats, that is a greater than 9, a less than 9, a equals to 9, and these respective true statements can be in single line, only one statement, or multiple lines. So this is called as an while loop. So whenever the condition is true, it is going to be repeated. So whenever the condition is false, it is going to come back or come out of the loop. So this is called a while loop. So don't know how much you have been got this. So let me put an example so that it will definitely make you clear. So today we can just start a new scratch file here by making a new scratch file. Okay. You can rename this to day 5. Day 5 with loop, that is while loop. So the syntax is too much simple. While expression, you need to write colon and you need to give one tab and write a statements here. That's all. So as I told you earlier, while writing a while condition, first and foremost thing is you need to declare and assign a variable. Assign a variable, that is looping variable, that is loop variable. And the second one is take care of increment and decrement. These two things are a mandatory thing you need to just follow with. So I am just going to write a simple program which is going to count the numbers from 0 to 9. So first I am assigning a variable count is equal to 0. Next I am checking this count is less than 9 and I am writing a colon. I am just printing the values. The count is what you are just counting, the increment variable. Now the most important task, that is increment it. So you need to increment the count value or else it will go to infinite loop. Why? Because we have been initialized here to the count as 0. If it has been not incremented every time, it will be always 0. If it is always 0, the while will be go on checking whether 0 is less than 9. It will be true always. So this condition will become false when count value becomes 10, that is at the 10th execution. So at the very first execution, it will check count 0 is less than 9. So the condition is true, it will print 0. Now the count value will be incremented by 1. Initially it was 0, now it will become 1. So it will check now whether count 1 is less than 9. The condition is true. So the 1 is printed, so it is going to be incremented. 2 is checked and it is true. 2 is going to be printed, and now the count have been incremented by 1. Again it is going to be 3 and it is true. So this 3 is going to be just printed. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So 4 is going to be true. That is 4 is less than 9. The condition is true. It is going to print the 4. The 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 is less than 9 and the condition is true. It is going to print 5. So 5 plus 1, 6. So 6 is less than 9. The condition is true. So 6 is going to be just printed here. So 6 plus 1, 7. So 7 and again it is true. So 7 is going to be printed. So 7 plus 1 is 8. So 8 is also true. 8 is going to be printed here. 8 plus 1, 9. 9 is less than. So here the condition will just false. And it is going to be not printed. So you can just see here 0 to values 0 to, that is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 should not print. So it will be printing till 8. So this is a full stand explanation of a while. So here I have been used only a single count value. So if you are having any of the conditions here, you can use it. You can have a multiple lines also. So let me show. Let me show if I am printing this outside the loop, what it is going to happen. So if I am writing inside the loop, inside means with one tab, then it is inside the loop. So now 0 to 9. So 0 to 8 means 9 times it is going to be printed inside the loop. You can just see this. So you can just see. If we are giving outside the one tab, so it is not resembling or it is not with the checking of a while loop. So without having any checking, it will print. So at the end, it will be printing end of loop. So this inside the loop will be printed 0 to 9 times. So this is what the working of the while which have been just given here. Quote a example for an infinite loop. I was been talking about how this going to happen with an infinite loop. So I am taking a variable called v and I am assigning a value to it, and I am writing some while loop here. So while v equals to 1, if this is a condition, I am printing a value called true. If this is a case, then this is an example, perfect example for an infinite loop. So this is like it is going to happen with a whenever we are going to check a condition without having any increments or decrements. Here we have been assigned a variable called 1. Whenever the variable is equals to 1, this line should be executed. So this line will be executed permanently forever till the power have been provided to the system. So this is called as an infinite loop. So it will be in the loop itself. Why? Because this condition will never becomes false. It will not coming to an outside the loop. Why? Because it never become false itself. So this is called as an infinite loop. So in order to come out of this infinite loop, you need to press Control plus C. So this is called as an infinite loop coming out of a sequence. So you need to come out of an infinite loop means you need to just press this Control and C from your keyboard, or else this will be executing forever. Okay, let me just give an example for this infinite loop in your PyCharm, how it is going to be just executed. We can just see here. So I am taking a variable called 1 and I am checking while variable equals to 1. So let me take some of the inputs from a user and I am making it as a enter the value for num and print that num. Here I am printing that end of while loop. Here I am not incrementing anything and it will be in an infinite loop. It will never come to this end of while loop. Why? Because it is in an infinite loop. See here, it will ask me to enter some number. Again it will be going to ask me to enter some number. So why this thing will be in the forever list is like, so this condition is true forever. Variable is equal to 1. Why? Because I have been not incremented or decremented the loop variable. See, this is like it will not come to an end. So now you need to press Control and C. So you need to press Control C or you can press stop execution here. So that is going to stop the execution. So this is called as an infinite loop. So how to come out of this infinite loop is just increment the variable is equal to variable plus 1. So you can execute only one time. So you are entering some value, later end of while loop. Why? Because you are incrementing it. So this is the main logic behind usage of a for loop. You need to avoid the execution. That is, avoid the entering of a infinite loop whenever the while have been used. So these are the two things you need to remember. You need to assign a value for a while looping iterated values variable, that is where whatever been used, it need to be assigned before the usage of a while, and the next one is it need to be incremented or decremented manually. So this is a funda, you need to just make use of the things. So the next one is usage of a else. So the next one is like usage of a else statement in an while loop. So how this else is going to be used in an while. So what is this else condition is, whenever the looping condition is false. So when it becomes false, the compiler will jump to this else part and it will execute that statement. So here I am using a condition called a is equal to 9. Initially it need to be declared with 0. Now a will be a plus 1. Next I am writing else. Now you can print something like a value is more than 9. So this is like whenever this condition is false. So when this condition will become false is like it is going to execute or check this condition ranging from 0 to 8. After counting the values from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 8, it will be in a true state. Okay. Whenever it crosses 8 value, when it becomes 9, then this condition will be false. So once this condition is false, it is coming to an else part and it is executing it. Till the condition is true, it will be inside the loop itself. So this is the usage of a else part. In for loop, the else usage will be some other thing, but in while, what it is the thing is, whenever the looping condition is true, it will be executing in the loop statements. If the condition will false, apparently it will execute the else statements. Okay, we can just see with an example. So next I am taking a count value, count is equal to 0 while count is less than 9. The same program what we have been just seen over there in the above issue, count is equal to count plus 1, same program. So you can just print here count is less than 9. So it will be inside the loop. Okay, I have been forgotten to write colon. Else you can print that count is greater than 9. So here count is equal to 0, count less than 9, it will be checking. So what this print statement is like, first the count value is printed, later the user defined strings are going to be defined, and there is no restrictions like you need to use the string first and later variable. You can use the interchange the variable position. Wherever the variable position is there, the content of a variable will be printed. So now 0 is less than 9, 1 is less than 9, 2 is less than 9. So 0 will be checked, it is true, it will print 0 less than 9. 1 is checked, 1 is less than 9, and it is going to print 1 is less than 9. Okay, I can just explain it with the output here. So enter the number. Okay, I have forgotten to increment here. Again an infinite loop. I only forgotten, sorry. So count is equal to count plus 1. So 0 less than 9, it will increment here. It will become 1. 1 is less than 9, and again it will increment. 2 is less than 9. This will be printed. It will increment by 1. 3 is less than 9. The condition is true. Hence it displays 3 less than 9, and again 4 is less than 9, so it will be incremented by 1. Now the value is 5. 5 is less than 9, the condition is true and it is going to print this one. Next 5 will be incremented by 1, so 6 is less than 9, the condition is true, the 6 less than 9 will be printed. So 7, it will be incremented, 7 is less than 9 and the 7 less than 9 is printed here. In the same fashion 8, 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 less than 9, the condition is true, it will be printed. Here comes increment of 8 plus 1, 9, here the condition is false. Once the condition is false, it will come for a else part. Till that it will be inside the loop itself. Every time it will not come here. So this is a usage of else. Whenever the condition is false, then it is going to execute this part only once when the condition is false. So this is all about while part. So as in an if condition, they were having a single line. Let me take a pen here. Here also we are having a single line execution. So I am taking a variable is equal to 1 while variable is 1 while variable you can print some values. So this is a single line assignment as you are using in the if condition. Here also if your statements, true statements or looping statements are only one, instead of going in a next line, you can write in a single line itself. Okay, you can just see this in an execution part. So now I am giving a variable called flag. Flag is equal to 10. I am checking whether this flag is true or not. If it is true, what you are going to print is flag has non-zero values. It will never come to the else part here. Okay, the entering the value of some value. Okay, here it is going to be execute. Flag has non-zero value. So it will enter to the infinite loop. You can increment the flag or you can assign a value to it. Okay, in order to avoid that infinite loop, you can just change the condition. Flag is equal to 1. End of while class. So now you are going to check a value. and you are going to print it. If flag is equal to 1, you need to increment it. So like this you can change the execution states. So till now we have been seeing a content or things for a while loop. Next, in the looping condition we are having a for loop. So the for loop is the one which is going to execute the sequence of statements in a step-by-step manner. So it is having some of a syntax here. So for iteration variable, so this is an iteration variable. This space is given for iteration variable, and we are using a operator called in, that is identity operator in an sequence. And you are going to give colon. Within one tab you can write a for statements. There is no need of usage of a increment or a decrement. Everything will be taken care automatically. So here the name of a variable which we are going to write here, it is an iteration variable. You can use this iteration variable inside the looping, and it is a sequence where you are going to use a keyword called least in order to generate a numbers, arithmetic numbers. So we are using a keyword called range. we can give a range by 5. So it is going to generate a range, arithmetic values ranging from 0 to 5. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In order to see this number, you need to provide a list for it. So you need to write list. Inside a bracket, you need to write range. And you can pass 5. So it will generate a number starting from 0 to 4. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the range is 5. 5 numbers. See, if you need to execute the for loop with an user defined increment or decrement value. See, like if your condition is like you need to increment the for loop from 0 to 10. If your problem is like adding a even numbers, so you need to start the for loop with an 0, and you need to end the for loop with a 10. Whenever it is an even number, the for loop should execute by incrementing by 2 times, not by 1 time. So during these cases, you need to have the iteration. The first thing is you are having 3 variables here: first, second, and third. In a first variable, starting iteration value. The second one is ending iteration value. So here comes a incremental value. So whenever you are passing it through a list and a range, so it will generate a number starting from 0 to 10 with an increment of 2, 4, 6, 8, like this. If your position is like decrementing, that is 10 to 1, during this case you need to write 3 variables. First variable is starting number and it should end at 0. The decrement value should be -1. So the third position have been reserved for decrement value. So this is a starting value and this is a ending value. So that is what you need to just do. So you can just see here, I am just writing a ranges first, as I explained earlier. So range is like it is going to provide you it is a built-in function which is used to provide a sequence of numbers. So you can just give a 5. So it is going to provide a range from 0, 5. If you need to see it, you can give in this fashion: range 5, like this. Okay, now I was been talking about writing the numbers in range. So starting number is 0, comma, ending number is 5 with an increment of +1. This is as usual. If I am having a range of adding only even numbers 0 to 10 with an increment of 2, like this. If you need to have a list, that is going to happen in inverse fashion, 10 to 0 with an increment of -1, like this. So this is how to generate a range. So if you need to go for a looping condition, so as I told you earlier, this for loop. Okay, let me take a pen here. So the program will start here, that is the iteration value is going to be starting here. It is going to check the condition. So your item from sequence. So it is going to take a sequence here, that is range of values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Till this values are ending, this is going to be executed. If they are not having any numbers in a sequence, then it is going to end the looping part. If it is true, if you are having any sequences still remaining, sequences means will check for the first value 0. It will check whether it is going to be executed or not. If it is there, if the number is there, it will execute here and it will be going back to the condition if the number next sequence is present. Here the next sequence is 1. It will execute. It will go back. It will execute. The sequence is there. Go back. Third, the sequence is there. It will go back and execute. Fourth, the sequence is present. It will go back and execute. After 4, there is no sequence. Whenever the sequence is empty, it is going to come out of the loop. Here the condition checking is based on the numbers generated in a for loop. That is iteration variable. It is going to play a very much important role. So here the iteration variable, some variable I, here the sequence will be there. This one is going to be checked in this sequence. So in is a one which is going to check the sequences, as you remember. So I will just quote one of an example for a for loop and I will just call for a day. They are having numerous example on a for loop. Let me just see in the next classes. So let me just give one of a problem or one of an example here for variable in least range. So I am executing 0 to 10 times, an increment of 1, and I am writing colon. Okay, what I am doing is I am just finding the sum to 10 numbers. So num is equal to sum is equal to sum plus var. So I am assigning the sum is equal to 0. Why? Because I am finding a sum for 10 numbers. Okay, I am running this. Okay, I have not printed here. Sorry, I have been not printed. Print the sum of 10 numbers. Here you are going to execute this. Okay, the sum of 10 numbers, that is 0 to 10. So it is going to just generate a numbers. So here what happened? Okay, run is here. Okay. Okay, it has been not printed. You can just print this. Or you can go to console, Python console, and you can type here range of 5. So it is just giving a arithmetic number ranging from 0 to 5. You can use a list here, list of range 0 to 5 with an increment of 1. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 5 values. So now you can just increment it to 10. So 0 to 9, that is 9 numbers is going to be added. So now if you are going to for having with an increment of 2, you can just see 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So in this fashion, in the same manner, 0 to 9, that is going to be executed here. 0 to 9. So if you need to have a odd numbers, so as I've been told, like starting from 10, 0, comma minus 1, 10 to 1, like this. In the same manner, you can have even numbers over there. So that's it. So this is a usage of a for loops using a inbuilt function called range, and you are having a list for it. List 0 to 10. So this is a starting value of a for loop. 10 is a ending value, and you are performing some execution here. Sum is equal to sum plus variable. So sum will be 0, 0 plus 0, first iteration. So 0, the sum, that answer will be stored here. The first iteration answer is 0. So the second iteration will be like some value is 0, 0 plus 1, and the answer is 1. The third iteration is like initially the sum value is 1, 1 plus 3, 4. So like this it will be executing till it reaches ninth value or ninth iteration. After performing all the thing, it is coming into an end. Or you can control this execution starting from 1 to 10. Now the answer will start counting from 1. So preferably it will be around 54, I guess. So this is like 0 to 10. Let me take another example using a string operations. See, like for letter in Python, and you are giving a colon here. So this for loop will execute till the finishing of these letters PYTHON. So you are going to print current letter. Okay, whenever the strings are given, it should be in an quotes. So you are printing the current value, and outside the for you are giving a empty print, that is one empty line is going to be just printed. That's all. Or you can give it inside the for loop itself. So first P will print empty line, Y will print empty line, T will print empty line, H will print empty line, O will print empty line, N will print empty line. So you can just see this. So what you are doing here is, what you are going to print is the letter. I forgot on this. So in letter, first one is accessed. P is printed like this. Okay, you can see here current letter P. So this letter is going to store first word of this letter, first letter of this word P, and normal line is going to print empty sequence. Then Y is printed T H O N, like this. So like this you can just go for string bit by bit. See, if you need to print a whole numbers or a whole sentences, there is another example for this. I am taking another variable called fruit and I am creating a list for it. List is a data type which can hold a fruit name. Banana, mango, can be apple. So now in the previous example I have taken only a one string. Here I have been taken a collection of a string, that is numerous strings. In order to do that we need a data type called list, or you can use tuple, or you can use dictionary, anything is fine. For now you are going to write a for loop. So you are using a index operator as a variable called I in range of length of a fruit. You are using next print current fruit. What is your current fruit? That is your, okay, there is no need of range and all, I guess. That's why it is posing error. Let me see whether it is error have been rectified or not. Yeah. For iteration variable is I. What it is iterating in and fruits. So fruits is having some list, banana, mango, apple. So the iteration value is 0. 0 of fruit, that is banana will be printed, mango and apple will be printed. So that's it for this video, guys. We have been just seen about syntax of a while, how to differentiate between a while and for loop. The main difference is like you need to increment or decrement in while, or else it will enter to the infinite loop. Syntax for the for loop, and we have been seeing some of iterations here of some of the examples that have been seen here. How to print a characters, how to print a single fruits and all. So this is a summary of a video. I think this is informative. Let us see the rest of for loop syntaxes in the next video. Thank you. See you in the next video.